Hi, my name is Uwe Mummenhoff, and I've been with Lowepro or doing things with Lowepro actually since about 1981. And I can tell you a lot of challenges because I work with photographers. I'm a photographer myself, not a professional photographer, but I'm out in the field and I've worked with photographers in many, many situations. And there's always questions coming up. There's things like, how do I handle this? How is this camera working? What do I do when I'm in this situation? And you know, one of the things that came up often, why doesn't Lowepro make a photo vest? And I said, why? Why make a photo vest? Everybody else makes a photo vest. We don't make photo vests. And they said, well, why don't you? Because Lowepro is so famous for unique products. But I explained to them, you put on a photo vest, and what happens, all the weight is on your shoulders suddenly, all that stuff, the photo gear is hanging there. And then what happens afterwards is, you want to use this, you have a certain lens, you want to put it in one of the pockets of a photo vest, it's either too small or it's too large. So it didn't work. But what I understood from these photographers, they want to be able to change very quickly, modular, what equipment they're taking, camera bodies, lenses, flash guns, and all of that. So after talking with a lot of these photographers over a period of time, and then to our design people, I felt, let's design, develop a truly unique component-based carrying system that will address all of these questions. How do you go about that? Well, one thing that I had learned from Greg Lowe, the founder of this company, of Low Alpine, is when you carry something heavy, you don't want to have it on your shoulders all the time. You carry it on your hip shelf. Women know that because when they carry their babies, they have it right here. This is where the weight should go. So the first thing was, how can we transfer the weight and so on onto the hips? Well, with our designers who worked so hard on finding the solutions, it wasn't a question of how, it's just how many pieces should we work on to really address the needs of the photographers. In the end, we had systems that were handling belts, such as this particular piece here. We had vests, and there were many other pieces that we developed at the time on this modular system. We called it street and field, because street is for the photojournalists in the cities. The field is in nature, the outdoor, the wildlife photographer. And you know, as a photographer, you get into situations when today I'm only going to use my 80-400mm lens and maybe my 12-24. But tomorrow I have something completely different going on. And that is why continuously the equipment that I use, want to use, the photographer use, changes. Flash guns, even some work maybe we're still with light meters. You've got to be able to, within the system, changes at will. And you may have 20 different components where you have certain lenses, certain accessories. Before it was motor drives and all of that. And you just grab them, you put them on where you want to have them. Some of the weight again ends up on the shoulders if you want to. At other times, it is all on your belt. And sports photographers and nature photographers, and when you're out in the field to do work like this, you got to be fast. And at the same time, you got to be secure. Because when you're running away from bears, hey, you got to cinch down those straps and make sure they're tight on your body.